Hello, everyone. I hope you all are doing very well. Welcome to this edition of Discussion on the Indian Express dated 6th October 2022. And we'll briefly look what all articles are important in today's paper. Let's begin with today's discussion. From the very first page from GS3 Science and Technology, the article is about Nobel Prize. So recently the Nobel Prize were declared for physics and chemistry as well. The article is headlined as Nobel for work on click chemistry and quantum mechanics. So from this article, you have to know about the Nobel Prizes, like who gives this prize, about the nomination and recent winners for the Nobel Prize in Chemistry, Physics and other domain areas, and also know briefly about the winners' works in these fields. Moving further, on page number 1 itself from GS2, Polity and Governance, the article is headlined as Pitch on Poll Promises, Cost Not Linked to Freebie Debate. So this article is about the proposal by the Election Commission so that the political parties disclose their financial ramifications of promises in their manifestos. Proposal was not linked to debate on freebies but aimed at improving the implementation of existing guidelines. From this article, you have to know why do political parties come up with election manifesto? Also, what is the Election Commission of India and Supreme Court stand on the poll promises made by political parties and how the freebie culture impacts the social economical aspect of the nation? Moreover, steps taken to make political parties accountable during the poll promises. Moving further on page number 1 itself from GS2 Polity and Governance, the article is headlined as Telangana CM launches new party, makes foray into national politics. So recently, Telangana Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao launched Bharat Rashtra Samiti, renaming the existing Telangana Rashtra Samiti that was also founded by him. From this article, you have to know about the national and regional parties, their categorization, and how the Election Commission decides the status of these parties. Alright, moving further on page number 3 from GS2 Polity and Governance, the article is headlined as Two Ayurveda doctors booked under UAPA can deny any PFI link. So, two doctors were booked for criminal conspiracy promoting enmity among different groups under the various sections of UAPA. And these two doctors were allegedly members of Popular Front of India, which is now banned. They were involved in delivering hate speeches. So from this article, you have to know about the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, UAPA, what are its key provisions, and how is an unlawful association defined. Also, what is the process to declare an association unlawful? Further on, what is the possible way forward? Now moving on page number 10 from GS2 Indian Polity, the article is headlined as Gubernatorial procrastination is unreasonable. Now this word means relating to the governor. From this article, you have to know, in light of the recent controversies of withholding of assent for the bill, analyze the role of governor in general with respect to the bill and also what options governor have as per Article 200 of the Constitution, and moreover, what is the possible scenario ahead. Moving on page number 10 itself from GS3 Disaster Management, the article is headlined as Calamity-prone Urban India's worrying storyline. So from this article, you have to know, in light of recent Bengaluru floods, you have to know about urban flooding, what is urban flooding, and what are the major causes, also what are implications, and most importantly, the mitigation strategies that need to be opted in this particular scenario. Alright, moving further on page number 10 itself, again GS3 Science and Technology, the article is headlined as Exhuming New Light. So as recently, Svante Pääbo won the Nobel Prize 2022 in Medicine. So this article is relating to that. So from this article, you have to know about Svante Pääbo's Nobel Prize win in Medicine and also what are the revolutionary implications of Pääbo's research. Alright, moving further on page number 10 itself from GS2 International Relations, the article is headlined as Neutrality, Abstention. So India must take a stand against Russia's bombing and annexation of territories. From this article, you have to know about the global implications about Ukraine-Russia conflict and also what stand India has taken on the conflict on the international fora. Moving on page number 11 from GS4 Society, Ethics and Integrity, there is an article headlined as Women's Choice, a Threat to Iranian State. Again, this article relates to Iran's hijab controversy. So from this article, you have to know about the Iranian hijab controversy. And moreover, is this an example of moral policing? Alright. Moving further on page number 11 itself from GS3 Species in News, the article is headlined as UP experiment to breed Gir lions fails. From this article, you have to know about the Gir lions. Also, UP's breeding experiment and why it has failed. Again, moving further on page number 12 from GS to Indian polity, the article is headlined as the criterion for SC status. So from this article, you have to know what are the concerns related to Constitution Scheduled Castes Order of 1950, like exclusion of Dalit Christians and Dalit Muslims. Alright, who all are included in the Constitution Order of 1950, and most importantly, do you think should this be amended? Alright. Moving further on page number 12 from GS3 Indian Economy, the article is headlined as what is the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code? So this article is about our Union Finance Minister's statement. Why did Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman say that the IBC is losing its sheen? From this article, you have to know what is the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, also what is the rationale behind its introduction, also about the achievements, the criticism and challenges, and also what is the possible scenario ahead. Alright, moving further on page number 13, GS3 Indian Economy, the article is headlined as the impossible trinity, how the free movement of capital comes with a cost. From this article, you have to know what is impossible trinity, the word impossible trinity. Also, what does trilemma in economics mean? Moreover, how this is relevant in the context of balancing the economy. Moving on page number 14 from GS1 Physical Geography, the article talks about the recent avalanche that struck mountaineers in Uttarakhand. So as a result, 10 mountaineers have died. So from this article, you have to know about the avalanche, the factors responsible for avalanches like earthquake, also know about heavy rainfall, heavy snowfall, etc. and what should be the protective measures in these scenarios. Moving on page number 16 from GS1 Salient Aspect of Art Forms, Art and Culture, there is an article about the recent findings in the Bandhavgarh Tiger Reserve of Madhya Pradesh. So the article is headlined as Caves of Bandhavgarh Not Buddhist. From this article, you have to know about the recent findings of the Archaeological Survey of India in Bandhavgarh Tiger Reserve of Madhya Pradesh. What is its significance and also what are the salient features of the caves. Alright. Moving further on page number 16 itself, again from GS4 Ethics, the article is headlined as Indian firms' cough syrups may be tied to 66 deaths in Gambia. So recently, the World Health Organization issued a medical product alert over 4 cough and cold syrups that were made in pharmaceuticals in India. And there was a warning that they could be linked to acute kidney injuries and deaths of 66 children in Gambia, that is a Western African country. So from this article, you have to know what are the different unethical pharma practices and also what are regulatory methods that India opt. Moreover, know about the Central Drugs Standard Control Organization. Moving further on page number 17 from GS2 International Organization, the article is headlined as White House calls OPEC Plus supply cut move short-sighted. So from this article, first of all, you have to know what is OPEC. That is Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, and also what is OPEC Plus. Moreover, the reason behind its decision for curtailment of global oil supply. With this, we'll move on to next article that is on page number 18 from GS3 Economy. It is headlined as Center raises credit limit under ECLGS for airlines to 100% of debt up to rupees 1,500 crore. So recently, the Ministry of Finance has raised the credit limit for airlines under the Emergency Credit Line Guarantee Scheme, that is the ECLGS, and making them eligible for a sum equivalent to 100% of their outstanding debt, that is up to a maximum of rupees 1,500 crore. And earlier, the airlines were eligible to borrow up to only 50% of their credit outstanding up to rupees 400 crores. So from this article, you have to know about the Emergency Credit Line Guarantee Scheme, also what are its objectives and what is the significance. And with this, we call it a wrap of today's edition of Headlines of the Day, The Hindu. I hope you liked the video. I will see you with some other video. Till then, take care and do stay tuned.